Turn the lights on. Those kisses never seem to fade away. I can feel them on my face. They still feel perfect. That's why I can't go another day.
What's going on, y'all? This is Adrian Marcel here, and I want to let y'all know every Thursday, 10 to 11 p.m., you know where I'm tuned in, and you should be tuned in too. Bliss FM. We chase dreams around here. Dream chasers.
Hey y'all, it's your girl here, Senna Styles, and I am host of Dream Chaser Radio, and we are on air Thursdays, 10 to 11 p.m. here at Bliss FM Studio 202, and I am here with a special guest all the way from the West Coast in the rain. I'm sorry we can't provide beautiful weather. This young man goes by the name of Adrian Marcel. All right, yes, West Coast in the building. What's up? All right. And speaking of West Side, congrats on your new single, okay? And Spending the Night Alone, all right? And we're going to get into that in just a sec. But, you know, at Dream Chaser Radio, we love to get the backstory of the chaser of the dream. And clearly the dream is music. Right. And so we'd like to know about Adrian Marcel. Okay, so you grew up in Oakland, California, O-Town, isn't that what they call it? Okay. See, I know a little bit of something. And but from what I hear, O-Town is kind of hood. It's kind of a little rough. Just like certain parts of it. Okay. Certain parts, yeah. So, you know, to ask you, growing up there, you know, what type of life did you have growing up there, and then what led you to want to make music the dream that you chased?
Well, you know, I had, you know, two parents that were very adamant about keeping me focused and me keeping my eyes on the prize, you know. So though there were those distractions that were in Oakland, like anywhere else you go, you know, I just had people around me that were keeping my head on straight, you know, and keeping me focused. So, you know, a lot of my friends was in the streets and everything like that, and that's cool. You know, I did that, but at the same time, like I kind of got the best of both worlds. Okay. You know, I had enough of that running around, ripping and running in the streets and everything, but at the same time, I still had my own mind to say, you know, this is cool, this is fun, but you know, there's something more, and I'm gonna stay on top of that, you know. Okay.
So when did you decide that music was going to be that? I mean, where does the music talent come from? Is it, you know, genetic? Like, is your family into music, or did you just, like, you were in school and introduced by a teacher and just said, you know what, I think this is what I like? Nah,
you know, my dad he had a funny way of getting on me and making sure I was on point, you know. Like, I would always be singing as a kid. Music kind of always touched me in some kind of way, but like my dad would always be like, I sing better than you. I sing better than you. You ain't singing good enough. You're not singing good enough. Yeah.
Singing must be genetic for you, because you've got a great singing voice. A lot of R&B singers, you know, they do that kind of singy, rappy thing now. Yeah. So you're not really getting singing. You're getting a lot of auto-tune.
My dad would kill me.
Look, I know, right? And I'm just like, you know, this cat, he's kind of got the Tevin Campbell thing going, where he has a legitimate voice. So kudos on that. So once you decided to get into music, you know, what steps did you take to kind of further or start your career, I guess you could say, and then further it?
For me, really just a lot of YouTube performances all over the place. Like, you know, the Bay and Oakland are very competitive places, so you got to be on point if you're gonna get on a stage. You know, especially when other people is getting on after you or before you. You know, so I kind of got my chops, you know, from just being around and being in the scene, you know, and always doing events. But YouTube and my management, you know, L7, Yancey Richardson, you know, called me up.
So marketing, especially online marketing, it seems like social media.
YouTube was definitely a big part of being seen. Great. You know, and come to find out, my manager was actually from Oakland. Awesome. So he called me and we started chopping it up and flew me out to Atlanta. We worked on some records. And from there, went out to LA and met up with Raphael Sadiq.
I was just about to say, how did you end up? Because you're kind of like his protege, which is, those are some big, huge shoes to fill. I mean, we all know Raphael Sadiq, and he got big feet on.
Yeah, tell him out.
But, you know, how does one get linked up with such a musical genius? We all know Raphael Sadiq from Tony, and after that, Lucy Pearl with Dawn from In Vogue. So, you know, how did you get linked? This is a little kid, skinny little kid from Oakland.
Yeah, skinny little kid. Just playing. You know, my management, Yancey, you know, he was doing some work with him, and he just happened to bring me with him, you know, and we talked, we chopped it up, and, you know, I was already just blown away because I was a huge Tony fan,
right?
You know, and Raphael Sadiq fan. So to be in the room with him, it was legendary.
Surreal.
He's from my block, he's from my city, all of that.
Okay.
And we started talking. I think that Ray just kind of saw the same kind of passion that I had, that he has. You know what I'm saying?
What's the
like,
saying? Real recognizes real.
Real recognize real. You know, I take my craft seriously, and when I meet someone who can help me better that, I honor that and I respect it. And I think he sees that. It's not like I'm, you know, trying to be more than what I am or nothing. I'm just enjoying doing what I love to do.
It's important to remain humble, even if you know that you genuinely have it and you know the potential and how far you can go. You know, to remain humble, that's a gift in anyone in all areas of life and all levels of life. So kudos to you.
Thank you
For you know, chasing your dream and being linked to the dream maker. Like, you know what I mean? Mr. Sandman himself. Like, you know, for the music stuff, you know. So tell me about your first project. The week
7 days a week.
7 days a week, okay.
Right.
And that's WEAK, ladies, because love does that, okay.
Yeah, it makes you weak.
Yes, it does. You know. So tell me about that mixtape, and you know, what was the inspiration for that?
7 days a week was really, you know, an introduction for my audience and just for the world, you know, to kind of turn the book to the back and get a quick summary of what Adrian Marcel is kind of about. Okay. You know, it was sort of a bundle of genres to me that came together and formed a vibe. Okay. And formed a sound, you know. And it's just me saying that I'm vulnerable and that I'm weak off of the real. You know what I mean? Whether it's love, whether it's pain, whether it's...
that's a real man to admit that.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, that goes back to my father, you know, and my mother. Like, they were very adamant about me having my own mind and being my own person and believing in myself. So 7 days a week is kind of like that introduction, you know, and then we introduced a sequel, which was Week After Next.
Week After Next. I like
and
it.
we actually went, we didn't want to go to the same thing. Like I said, 7 days a week was turning the book over and reading the summary, and Week After Next is kind of diving in into the actual chapter.
Right.
And I just wanted people to see a certain consistency, and I wanted them to see a certain growth.
Amen.
That they would understand that when my album does come in, any projects that I do, whether it be a mixtape or an album, it's going to be a full project and something that's real, a body of work. I don't care if it's something that's just for these few months. It's a body of work.
It's not just looking for radio hits. It's like actually putting your passion and your true nature and feelings out. And I appreciate that, because a lot of that is missing in music today. You know? So, you know, your single 2 a.m. came off the Week After Next, which hit radio. I mean, I've heard it in DC all summer, in New York, you know, so much congrats. Hard work pays off when you're dream chasing, you know.
Straight up.
So again, you know, we have the new one, Sleeping Alone, Spending the Night Alone. And so tell me, what was the idea behind this one, Spending the Night Alone?
Well, you know, a shout out to Rico Love, and you know, you know, Spending the Night Alone was... It's very simple. I've grown accustomed to having you next to me. I've grown accustomed to your scent, your touch, your feel, you know, everything, your aura. And it's not here. Something's missing. There's an empty space in this bed. You know what
dying
I mean?
with that.
Yeah, I need you here. So if I got to get up and go ride around past your mama house, or I got to, you feel me? I got to let you know it's very imperative that you know how I feel.
That's wonderful. It's very refreshing also in an industry with your genre of music where everything is turn up or, you know, shake that ass or, you know what I mean? Let me have a side piece or an orgy. You know what I mean? Like, no one is really selling love like the oldies used to.
I think that, you know, for me, you're not doing that 24/7. Like, you're not turning up all day.
The reality is.
And if you are, like, it has to be... it has to get boring. You know, that routine has to get boring, you know. And for me, in my time after the turn up and after the side, I guess, leaves, and after the whatever your main whatever leaves, then what? Then it's, you know, you just have you and your thoughts.
You know,
and that's what I'm about.
Tyrese is that kind of artist
Yeah.
where he genuinely sings about love and about, you know, relationships and commitment and the real ups and downs about. Maybe that's a Cali thing. Cali love, I guess,
straight
right?
up.
love
I
it.
don't know. I think it's just a real thing. I think that you just have to be in tune with yourself. You know, I think that as far as, you know, my hairstyle, you know, that I do, you know, my swoop it wasn't always accepted in the beginning. It wasn't always like, oh wow, that's no,
your
people don't
thing.
people don't know how to accept that. But if you accept it and you love it and you rock with it and you're confident, then people start to follow suit.
Exactly.
Like, oh, okay.
What is that?
Yeah.
What's that meme that's been going around? First they laugh, then they copy.
Hey, that's
it's
it.
so true.
That's
so true. All right. So what you have going up tonight, actually, you'll be in concert at DC's Howard Theater, historic Howard Theater. So congrats on that.
Thank you,
with
Elle
Varner.
Varner.
Yeah. So shout out to her. She's a beautiful young lady. So you know, how are you feeling about tonight's concert, and what are you looking most forward to doing for the ladies?
Tonight's concert is gonna be good. Like I'm excited because it's the first one. Yeah, it's the first
so
one.
you're
It's
breaking
the
your virginity with
opening.
DC.
It's the, no. We've definitely been in DC. Like I love DC, and DC always shows love. The whole DMV, but yeah, tonight's gonna be interesting because it's kind of like it's always brand new for me when I get on stage. Whether I've been here twice, 3, 4 times, doesn't matter. It's always new, you know. So for the ladies, we're gonna have a connection. We're gonna have. We're gonna get deep. I'm
gonna be there first row so I can make sure I get pulled up and get this.
Okay, because you know that first row is
First
deadly. It's like they tell you if you in that first row, be careful. You know?
Lap dances all around.
You know. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, anything you want to say to your fans?
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
I follow you on Instagram and I see the genuine appreciation towards your fans, and it's humbling, and I appreciate it. So you know,
no, straight up to all the fans out there, to everybody who supports and shows love. Like none of it goes unnoticed. I see the Twitter, I see the Facebook, I see the Instagram, all of that, and it really fuels me because at the end of the day, it's what I do it for. You know, I want you guys to feel it. I want you guys to understand that it's not a gimmick. It's real. You know, I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, and really just for you to feed your soul. So thank y'all. Continue rocking with me, and I'm gonna continue giving you a reason to. So love y'all.
Amen. Adrian Marcel, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, check him out, Howard Theater. And I'm your host, Des, with the most Des, Cine Styles. Dream Chaser Radio every Thursday, 10 to 11 p.m.